In the time of Buddha, there was a young man named Siddhartha who was deeply troubled by the restlessness nature of his own mind. He felt as though his brain was a crowded marketplace where 1,000 voices were shouting at once. He could not eat in peace. He could not sleep in silence. And even when he sat in the beauty of nature, his mind was busy rehashing old arguments or fearing future disasters. He felt like a slave to his own thinking, and the more he tried to force his thoughts to stop, the more aggressive they became. He eventually sought out the Buddha, who was resting under the shade of a large tree. Siddhartha fell to his knees and pleaded, "My mind is like a wild elephant that has gone mad. It tramples over my peace and destroys my happiness. I have tried everything to chain it down and to kill these intrusive thoughts, but I am failing. Please tell me the secret to controlling the mind." The Buddha looked at him with a gentle smile and asked Siddhartha to go to a nearby pond and bring him some water to drink. When Siddhartha reached the pond, he saw that some bullock carts had just driven through it, and the water was incredibly muddy and disturbed. He thought, "I cannot give this dirty water to the master." He returned and told the Buddha the water was too muddy to drink. The Buddha remained silent and asked him to wait for a while. After some time, he asked Siddhartha to go back to the pond again. Siddhartha went, but the water was still slightly murky, so he returned empty-handed once more. The Buddha simply smiled and said, "Wait a little longer." Finally, the Buddha sent him a third time. When Siddhartha reached the pond, he was amazed. The mud had completely settled at the bottom of its own accord. The water was now crystal clear, pure, and cool. He filled a vessel and brought it back to Buddha. The Buddha held the clear water and said, "Siddhartha, look at this water. You did nothing to make it clear. You did not jump in to scrub the mud away, for if you had, you would have only made it muddier. You simply let it be. You gave it time, and the mud settled on its own. Your mind is exactly like this pond." The Buddha continued. When your thoughts are muddy and disturbed, your mistake is trying to control them by jumping into the struggle. Every time you fight a thought, you stir the mud. Every time you try to suppress a worry, you create more ripples. To control the mind is not to do battle with it. It is to give it the space and silence to settle. If you sit quietly and remain the observer, the thoughts will eventually lose their momentum and sink to the bottom. Peace is not something you create. It is what remains when you stop creating chaos. Siddhartha realized that his struggle was the very thing keeping his mind restless. He learned that he did not need to stop his thoughts. He just needed to stop being the one who stirred them. In that moment of realization, his mind became as clear and still as the water in the vessel. And for the first time in his life, he was truly free. Whenever your mind feels like a stormy sea, remember this. You are the sky, not the clouds. The thoughts that trouble you, the worries, that what ifs, and the heavy memories are just passing weather. They only have power over you when you try to catch them or fight them. Just like the mud in the pond, your mind does not need you to fix it or scrub it clean. It simply needs you to stop stirring the water. Be patient with yourself. Give your soul the permission to sit still and trust that the clarity you are seeking is already there, waiting just beneath the surface of the noise. Peace is not a destination you reach. It's the stillness you find when you finally let go of the struggle.